Welcome to Talking Marvel, where today I will be diving into Adamantium, since it should be starting to pop up more and more very soon in the MCU. Stick around until the end of the video, where I will go over every use of Adamantium that has appeared in Marvel, from being bonded with characters to use in weapons. Marvel Database says Adamantium is not an element. Its properties don't qualify it for any known space on the periodic table. There are only a few known substances, harder, Dargonite, which is capable of puncturing adamantium and utilized in the 31st century. I don't think we'll be seeing this anytime soon unless the MCU decides to take a big change in direction, a couple of phases, and jump into the future where they actually have a good deal of content made for. A couple of these early points I've covered about adamantium in my video, The Dead Celestial Tiamat, has massive implications on future of MCU. But that just involved a few adamantium related objects that have already appeared in the MCU. I'll go over this again and much more, looking at every use, possibility, and form. Here's 3 points that will be interesting to think of at the start and we'll come back to. Hercules has an enchanted golden mace, which legend states is made of adamantine and inspired the creation of Captain America's shield. Adamantium is more powerful than vibranium for slicing or drilling. This is what makes it reportedly more valuable in Captain America New World Order, and why countries will be going to war over it being an open resource on unclaimed land. The third is Moon Knight's staff and equipment are made of adamantium. More is coming with that character in the near future, as we've only got a look in one season of his show where he was fighting against becoming Moon Knight. There have been 3 instances of adamantium being harvested by villains. Sabretooth's adamantium skeleton was harvested by Apocalypse. Gambit saved Sabretooth after this by getting adamantium from Constrictor. Cyber had adamantium harvested by Genesis, destroying his body's organic matter and leaving only his adamantium laced skin. Now into the different versions of adamantium. Proto-adamantium, the official name for the metal that makes up Captain America's shield. Composed of vibranium, steel alloy, and an unknown catalyst which bonded together by themselves after Dr. Myron McLean fell asleep in his lab while trying to create an indestructible alloy for the US inspired by the legend of Hercules' golden mace. Captain America's shield is the most indestructible item in all of existence and has never been recreated. It has been damaged or destroyed 5 times. By Doctor Doom with the power he stole from the Beyonder. By Thanos with the power of the Infinity Gauntlet. By Molecule Man and his total control over matter. By Thor wielding the Odin Force. And by the Serpent after augmenting his strength with the fear of people from all over the world. Next is true adamantium, or primary adamantium, an attempt at a recreation of proto-adamantium, but without vibranium. It's nearly as strong as proto-adamantium, but can be reproduced. Beings with godlike powers or strong magnetic powers, such as Magneto, can manipulate it. Wolverine and Sabretooth's skeleton is bonded with true adamantium. Some versions of Ultron were made of true adamantium in some instances. Hulk was said to have dented Ultron's frame with a punch, the frame made of true adamantium. It is able to be reproduced and is very expensive to create or manipulate. The US government has control over it, and this is a hint to what's coming in Thunderbolts, as their mission is to go to Genosha and retrieve adamantium. The next is secondary adamantium, or adamantium steel. It's more cost effective and weaker than primary adamantium, but can be manipulated easier. Its resilience varies from being able to be broken by the hands of Thor with all of his power, to not being able to be budged by beings like the Power Skrull or Frenzy. And finally, adamantium beta. This works like true adamantium, but doesn't inhibit the biological process of bone. This form of adamantium was found out when Magneto extracted the adamantium from Wolverine's body. Now for the part you've been waiting for. All applications of adamantium in Marvel. Lord Darkwind, father of Yuriko and founder of the adamantium bonding process. Dr. Cornelius and the Weapon X program frequently made use of an incomplete iteration of the adamantium bonding process on many of its agents and test subjects. Then there's Wolverine's claws and skeleton, Sabretooth's claws and skeleton on occasion, Daken's sheath over his Muramasa claw formerly, and adamantium katana swords, Battlestar's shield, MODOK's adamantium body formerly, Bullseye's spinal column partial skeleton, the Captain's shield used by Steve Rogers and provided by Tony Stark, Ultimate Captain America shield, Baron Helmut Zemo's swords, outer plating of several Ultron bodies, which I spoke of, occasionally Hawkeye's trick arrows, the Constrictor's coils, formerly, a set of Dr. Octopus's arms, which were destroyed by molecular rearrangement, Lady Deathstrike's claws and skeleton, Citizen V's swords, the cyborg body of Donald Pierce, formerly, adamantium reserves belonging to Kyber, Cyber's skin and claws, later harvested by Genesis, and reacquired later still, then harvested by Ogun, reacquired again in his identity as Stinger. Tess 1's outer skin layer, the robotic mantle of Alchema, Citadel's skin, Shuri's panther habit claws, Underworld's bullets, Romulus's skeleton, nails, and claw implants, Deathlock's skeleton, cartilage, muscle fibers, and helmet carapace, X-23's claws, Rikadonna's custom-made scimitar, Moon Knight staff and equipment, Maverick's knife and ammo, Saberclaw's nail sheaths, the armor of Omega Red, possibly, Bucky's Captain America suit, Tiger Shark's teeth, Doc Green's nanite gamma cure, bullets used by Ancient Order of the SHIELD agents, Dog Logan's adamantium mace, Kraven the Hunter's hunting knife, Iron Man's weapons on occasion, the vault of the Book of the Iron Fist, the second Constrictor's coils, possibly, Moira Kinross uses adamantium-tipped syringes occasionally to break through tough skin. Hammerhead's upper skeleton was replaced by a cybernetic one made of adamantium, which was done on Mr. Negative's orders. Solemn's skin was made of adamantium. And finally, the shields of Von Doom Industries space station were made of adamantium. If you enjoyed this video on everything adamantium in Marvel and the MCU, then make sure to like and subscribe for more content every week.